So I just heard about this new thing, and I wanted to know if y'all had heard about it yet.
What
okay?
Okay.
New? I like new things.
So it's called a talkie. Like we've seen the silent movies, and now they've done one where they use words, like you can hear them.
You're fucking shitting me.
I don't.
Not even a little bit.
I don't know if that's gonna work very well.
I will
here's the thing,
shit my ass
I love
right
reading.
now.
Well, like I was sitting there and I was like, wait a second, you're telling me I don't have my fun current timey piano playing, and then I get to read a little caption about what they're saying? The guy next to me was like, no, man, you just hear what they say. And I'm like, what about the piano? And he said, you won't need it. And I didn't. It was just real good. It was like a play, but with the magic pictures.
I mean, it sounds interesting. I just don't know if it's gonna take.
I have a better idea than this talkie.
Yeah.
Let's break up this talkie that you're talking about into 30 to 45 second segments and put it on top of someone playing a shitty game.
Ooh, yeah, that'll work.
I think I've lost what we're talking about.
Because this is Junk House.
It's a psychobilly freakout!
Were you talking about streamers? Like watching YouTube streamers?
On TikTok, there's this weird thing of people like doing like Family Guy clips over someone playing Subway Surfers.
Yeah.
What?
It's
Yeah.
a weird thing.
It's so weird, but man, I think I've watched all of Family Guy now. I think I finally have seen every episode of Family Guy.
Every time I think, okay, this is the most culturally out of touch I can be, a new thing happens and I realize I am more culturally out of touch than that.
Yep.
It's the whole idea that Zoomers need their like attention span is destroyed. So it's like, oh, I can't just watch Family Guy. I have to watch somebody playing Subway Surfer and failing terribly at the same time.
See, that just sounds to me like those ads where it's like, look at this fun new game. And the ad plays the game horribly and it pisses you off enough that you want to download the app to play the game better than that stupid advertisement. And then you go, oh, this game is full of other ads for other games and this is garbage anyway.
And one of them isn't even real. Hi, welcome to Junk House. I'm Sammy.
Yeah,
one of
hi,
them
Caleb.
isn't even
Also Cordell.
one of them isn't even real. Like the one where you can like you have to move the bars so like lava kills the enemy.
Yeah.
And that's not real. The actual
Yeah.
game is like
It's like an
it's like
MMORPG.
simulation.
Yeah.
Also, what? Civilization. What? I can't say that word. I'm gonna
Civilization?
Civilization. I don't know why I didn't add the.
Do you think the one game where you like shoot like dice at a horde of zombies and the dice turn into guns, is that real?
I don't know, but it sounds like, because like, do you guys remember the episode where I downloaded a bunch of these games and tried them out? That sounds like one that would be real based off of
I
my
hope, because it kind of looks
experience.
fun, actually.
That's the thing. They always get you. And they're like, it kind of looks fun. It's never that fun.
The only mobile app that's that fun is Marvel Snap.
I still play Vampire Survivors daily right now. So I would still put Vampire Survivors up there. And that's free. So
and that's for free, right?
It's free.
That's a free thing.
It's a free game. I've been playing the shit out of that. I had a 90-minute run the other day in that game. I went to the bathroom and was like, I'm going to play a round of Vampire Survivors and then leave the bathroom.
Oh, no.
I sat on the toilet for 90 minutes.
God.
Your legs are just asleep. You wake up
Please
and
let me die. Please let me die.
I was only shitting for like 5 minutes. Vampire Survivors, the other 185.
That is a thing I've noticed is like growing up, I had a lot of constipation actually. So I got very accustomed to being on the toilet for long periods of time. But now as an adult with like a regular bowel movement thing going on, I sit down on the toilet And it happens in like a couple minutes.
Yeah.
But I'm still on my phone like there's got to be more. Certainly I'm not done. Lived
poop's
experience has
coming, more
told
poop's
me
coming.
there's more poop here.
There's gotta
Or-
be.
Or
Can we
I'll
get
like
shirts
poop
that say
half
more
of it.
Poop's coming.
More poop's coming. Yeah. If not
That's
now,
the first
then
Junk
later.
House merch.
That's the first one.
Well, it's like certainly sometimes I'll stop halfway through the poop just so I have a little bit more to do after I've played my mobile games.
My poops have been mostly consistent of watching TikTok, which has been a good thing because that means I can leave whenever. I
It
can
also
just be
means-
like, oh, I'm gonna scroll, so I'm done pooping. I'm gonna bidet.
It also means
get out of there.
Sammy, you can watch as much Family Guy as you want.
I can watch as much Family Guy.
You can watch so
Also,
much.
they-
Family Guy.
The big thing now also is like Reddit stories with Subway
Minecraft.
Surfer or Minecraft, mostly Minecraft parkour maps.
Yeah.
There's one channel on, I guess they're called channels on TikTok. I don't fucking know.
I guess.
They're
I
Called
guess.
talks.
They're called
And then you post a tick on the talk, I think.
you put the tick on top of the talk. But yeah, so there's this one talk that is like become the big one, and it's become the big talk, the big talk of the tick. And that's just what it is Reddit over Minecraft.
Yeah. I have to blow my nose because it's horrible. There's something
I'll
stuck
blow
up in
your
there.
nose.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Sammy, can you?
Well, I was
Can
gonna
you-
say, you
do
know
you-
what blows?
Oh, what blows?
Black Adam. I don't think we've talked about it on this podcast yet.
I think we've mentioned
I
our general
refuse
disappointment.
to watch this movie. I just can't.
So let me tell a tale to the listeners here.
Yeah, do it.
The movie theater in the town in which I live, you know, the town. They just call it Townsville. It's
the
strange.
towns.
So
Where Caleb
the
and I are also
Townsville,
from,
yeah,
as-
they also
if we
live in
haven't said
Townsville.
that. If we hadn't,
I
Yeah.
think we've mentioned the name
we've
on
had
this show,
to.
but
I
like,
think we had, but
so Townsville. I'm living in Townsville right now, and Tuesdays used to be half price movie tickets, and I was like, sick dope. Because the biggest problem I have with movies is there's a lot of movies I kind of sort of want to see in theaters, but not enough to pay full price tickets.
there's so many movies like that. It's
Yeah.
very
So
understandable.
many movies where it's like I could spend a couple hours of my life watching this with my wife for $10, but for $20 you've lost me.
Yeah,
So we had been going pretty regularly, 'cause like half price movies. Let's just see whatever we're curious about, whatever we're interested in. And then we go in to see Black Adam, and we get up to the ticket counter and we go, "Hello, we would like to see Black Adam." And he goes, "Great, that'll be $20. And we went, "Wait, but it's Tuesday, isn't it half price Tuesday?" And he went, "Used to be, but the manager's really greedy, and so he took that away. Now it's full price." And we're like, "But there's no one here. You were drawing more of a crowd for half price." And he went, "I know." And then we were already there, so we spent full price money to see Black Adam, which sullied the experience for me. If I'd spent $10 on it, I would have had a much better time.
See, that's the thing that I keep coming back to is that because I'll be honest, I love superhero movies, but at this point in my life, most superhero movies I'm watching because they're streaming and I have like ready
Yeah.
access to
Yeah.
them. So to me, I'm already paying like what, $10 a month for HBO Max or whatever. So it's a time investment for me. I do not want to put what is Black Adam's runtime?
I
What
will
do-
look up right now.
Thank you.
Like
thank
2
you.
hours, I'd bet.
It's
I think it's
hour and a half,
okay.
2 hours is going to be my
2
guess.
hours 5 minutes.
Okay, that's
That
2
5 minutes is
hours. That's
egregious.
2 hours and 5 minutes.
That's 5 minutes too long.
It's
Yeah.
to me sitting at home watching it streaming. I have that is 2 hours. I'm not going to get back. Why would I
Well,
spend it watching a shitty movie?
I'm going to tell you something, Caleb. You never get any hours back.
Yeah, but some hours I feel like they're well spent. You know.
Wait,
Welcome
let
to
me.
the Twilight Zone. You get no
Yeah, sorry.
hours back.
I'm about to hit a Rod Serling impression, okay?
Okay,
Yeah,
I want to do your best. If it's bad, I'm gonna make you do it again. So do it good.
You know, they say that you never get any time back. But for the man in our story today, he's going to learn what happens when you do get some time back. Now, where could this happen, you say? Only in the Twilight Zone.
The Jump Zone. My favorite thing is for a bit, Discord was just cutting out.
Yeah, Discord. So Caleb was just like moving around, going
just silently.
Yeah,
it was incredible. Okay,
I used to watch Twilight Zone a lot. Actually, I love Twilight Zone. I love anthologies. Actually, like I love bite-sized stories. Love them. So the Sci-Fi Channel used to show a Twilight Zone marathon every New Year's Eve leading up to New Year's Day.
Yeah,
and
did.
I would wake up middle of Christmas break through middle school and high school, plop myself down on that couch, turn on the marathon, and roll. It was just the best day.
I need to watch more of it.
Honestly. I love the Twilight Zone a lot. Did y'all ever watch the 2019 Twilight Zone?
The Jordan Peele one?
The Jordan Peele Twilight Zone?
Not yet. I've been curious.
It was good.
Okay.
I really liked it. No, it was good. I don't think it's ever gonna get a season 2.
Probably not.
But I very much liked it. So
did they do Time Enough to Last again?
No, it was a lot of like newer ones. But like I know the first episode had Kumail Nanjiani.
I love him
as like
He's
a
incredible.
comedian trying to like make it, but none of his jokes land. And so he basically like gets into an alternate dimension where all of his jokes land. And he realized, but like, and so like, it sounds like a weird thing, but it's actually like a pretty compelling story.
Does it kind of become not worth it to him because he's always funny every time?
Pretty much, yeah. And so then he kind of wishes he could go back, but he's stuck with the choices he's made, you know?
Yeah. I love anthologies, and I love anthology horror. Twilight Zone is like dubiously horror, you know. You've got your like Nightmare at 20,000 Feet. Then you've got silly ones like Time Enough at Last.
Yeah.
But I love anthologies. I loved all the Twilight Zone variants that showed up back in the day, like Tales from the Dark Side or Monsters. Those were both not nearly as good, but way more fun.
Wasn't there a joke one in Rick and Morty that was like the Spooky Zone?
Oh, no, that was in Futurama. There was the
Futurama,
Scary Door.
The Spookies. The
Scary
Scary Door.
Welcome to the Scary Door.
The Scary Door. Or I guess to a degree, Goosebumps was the TV show for Goosebumps was a little bit like Twilight Zone for kids.
I wouldn't say so much Goosebumps. What was the one, the Midnight Society one?
Yeah, Goosebumps is more straight.
Oh, like Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Are You Afraid of the Dark? That's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Are You Afraid of the Dark is more the Goosebumps or more the Twilight Zone. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the Goosebumps episodes where R.L. Stine himself showed up at the beginning and was like, "Hi, I'm R.L. Stine. I write the Goosebumps books." I think those ones were a lot like Twilight Zone.
Have you heard about how R.L. Stine writes a book?
How does he write a book? I'm the biggest R.L. Stine fan in the world. I guarantee it.
I was watching an interview with him and Stephen King talking to each other.
Oh, send a link.
I'll find it again. This was like years ago.
I need that.
But Stephen King was sitting there and he's like, sometimes I just can't write for a full day. And R.L. Stine looks at him and said, I write 2,000 words every single day, no matter what. It does not matter if it is utter horse shit. I write 2,000 words.
And Stephen King said, that's why you're better than me.
Yeah, but no, then Stephen King was like, yeah, but look at the number of books you've published. Like,
yeah, that man is prolific. Like, people are like, Stephen King writes a lot. I'm like, R.L. Stine's got him.
R.L. Stine has got him hook, line, and sinker.
That man is still writing his good books. Spreading the good news of R.L. Stine's little brain juice.
That's talking about Stephen King. Have you seen the Stephen King and George R.R. Martin interview?
No, send me all of these.
That one is even funnier. I'm trying to find the exact quote, but Stephen like makes fun of George for how slow of
Yeah.
a writer George is. Because like George, I think specifically asked was like, he's like, oh, here we go. I've had a really good 6 months. I've written 3 chapters and you finished 3 books in the same time. King replied, here's the thing. There are books and there are books. He explained that he writes for 4 or 3 hours each day and tries to produce half a dozen fairly clean pages. So it's like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know.
that sounds like
it. Where he booms him, but
Well, I mean, I think
that's
just
enough
doing-
of a
doing
boom.
the math on
that's
it.
enough of a
Yeah, that's a
boom.
pretty good boom. But like doing a little bit of math, how many words are in your average novel? Or Stephen King? No,
God.
let's say fantasy. You know, fantasy's got a pretty consistent like 600-page length usually.
the average number of words in a novel is somewhere between 70,000 to 120,000.
Let's
Okay.
take the top end, 120,000 words. If we divide that by how many words? 6 pages ish. That's probably like 2,000 words, I'd say.
Yeah, I'd say
Maybe.
about that. Yeah.
Let's just
Roughly.
say you write 2,000 because I've written a book actually. It was like a ghostwriting thing I did. Wrote a 50,000 page book. I at my peak was doing 2,000 words a day because I procrastinated real bad.
Fair.
So a more reasonable one is probably 1,000. Let's just say 1,000 words a day. That's 120 days, and you wrote a book.
That's not that
Like
long.
you can really crank them out if you do daily writing, you crank it out. I mean, even at just 200 words a day, you've written a book in less than 2 years for very minimal commitment. Like you got to go back through and re-edit and all that jazz, but like it's a lot
Of
more
course,
accessible than we think. And that's how big books wants it.
I have been reading a little bit of The Last Unicorn. And I'm bringing this up to say it doesn't even have to be super coherent. Like, I love The Last Unicorn, but it's ridiculous. Instead of being like this girl is mad, or like using the flowery language is like she turned redder than the sun on a New Year's Day and then blew up and was so blah, like just it's not even like fancy. It's just like I'm gonna make it so ridiculous that you're just like, is this actually it's like a paragraph and you're like, is this actually happening, or is he still just describing why she's mad, or how in the way that she is mad?
Yeah.
And I think the biggest like writing mistake that people make is like, oh man, I gotta have everything before I start.
Yeah.
And it's like, nah, you really you need a vague outline and a direction and a theme. You just gotta go.
You just gotta fucking go.
Because you'll hit a point where you're like, oh, that's a neat thought. Oh man, that informs everything else. And then you like make a note of it for the hit when you go back around, you know? Like it just doing it informs doing it.
That's what I was watching, and this is kind of a segue, but also still talking about writing. I was watching an interview between Ryan Johnson and the two Daniels, who Ryan Johnson, you know, Star Wars 8, the best Star Wars movie, you know, Knives Out, Glass Onion, and the two Daniels, who are, you know, Everything Everywhere All at Once. And that kind of, and I think Swiss Army Man was their other, like, kind of
I need to watch
movie.
that still.
Swiss Army Man is so good.
One of my favorite movies of all time.
But they were each talking about their writing process and how different it is, where like the two Daniels view their movie as everything until the movie is released is part of the writing process. Like the movie can change in the editing booth. And so they were like, yeah, it was kind of frustrating for the actors when we would have to call them for a slight reshoot because we edited this one thing in the first 10 minutes that changed the last 5. So we had to reshoot that, you know, that kind of stuff. Whereas Ryan Johnson was like, no, I know everything that is going to happen in my movie. And he was like, I let the actors improvise a little bit, and because that is part of the writing process is still when you're shooting, but I know the big picture and I know what will happen.
And it's really all the same idea and process, just done differently. Like letting reshoots, like letting the editing process inform the end, or knowing what you're gonna edit at the end. Like every single aspect of doing a creative thing informs the rest of doing a creative thing. Like we've all done like when acting, like you're doing a scene and it's like, okay, we've rehearsed it 30,000 times and it's like week before show, and someone just like has a slightly different take when they say something and you go, oh, that's hot. We got to do that the same way. Like lock that in. That was the best thing ever. That changed the whole.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Like out of nowhere, you're like, the whole tone of this has shifted in the best way and we're keeping it. And it's that same way with like telling any story ever of like, oh, sick. That's way better than what I originally had. You know, like it's always innovating.
Oh, I mean, it's just like the reason that I was talking to Olivia. I was like, there are so many different iterations of the Christmas Carol, and each of them are different and good in their own way because each of them tackle certain elements very differently.
Yeah.
And it makes it fun.
Muppets.
Yeah. Muppets.
Well, here's the reason, and it's a simple reason. You both know that I love, I'm a big proponent now of, hey, let's get more spook into Christmas.
Yeah. Oh God.
Every Christmas Carol story since the dawn of Charles Dickens was like, hey, there's 4 ghosts. There's Bob Marley, and then there's the 3 ghosts of Christmas. 4 ghosts. Whereas Muppets Christmas Carol said, yeah, now there's 2 Bob Marleys.
It's not even Bob Marley. It's Jacob Marley. Bob Marley was the.
Hey, Caleb, what's Jacob short? Bob. So,
no!
Bob Marley, make 2 of them. That is 5 ghosts in a Muppet Christmas Carol versus the 4 for every other Christmas Carol.
Go up to one person named Jacob and call them Bob and see what the fuck happens, Cordell.
I do it every morning in the mirror.
Oh my God. I forgot you're a Jacob, technically. Anyway.
That's right. Eat it.
Cordell Bob.
All right. Well, Bob, I'm going to talk about a different movie. Because I want to talk about this movie with you guys.
And we're burying Black Adam, I understand.
We're burying Black Adam.
I'm glad that our conversation, quote unquote, about Black Adam had nothing to do with the movie.
It's the only way to talk about it.
It would have been better if Black Adam wasn't in it and it was just a JLA movie.
Because
the only way to talk about Black Adam is to not
Fate
talk
and
about
Hawkman,
it.
Their whole story was dope. And then it was shoehorned into Black Adam just because they needed the guy.
The last thing I will say that we have to say is fuck The Rock. The only reason Black Adam exists is because he was like, no, Black Adam's not going to be the villain in Shazam. He needs his own movie because it's me. The Rock's ego created the Black Adam and it sucks.
This is kind of like what happened when Universal tried to do their dark universe with all the monster movies, and they got as far as The Mummy because Tom Cruise said, hey, this movie ain't got enough cruising in it. And they said, but Tom, and he said, hey, you want the cruister? Because if you want the cruister, you gotta let him cruise. And they said, okay, Tom. And then he ruined what could have been a fun franchise.
And then he turned around and sprinted.
He turned around and sprinted and did his own stunt. And boom.
A weird fun fact about my family. Like, everyone in my family, so me, all 4 siblings, and my mom, my dad less so, but he's included in this, hate Tom Cruise. No explanation why. We just hate him. Scientology. It's also, he's just a shitty actor. He's a bad actor. I'm not going to lie. He's bad. He's not good at anything he does. All of his characters are the same thing over and over, and he has to stand on a fucking apple box because he's a little 5 foot whatever short guy that is just like, my dick has to be bigger than everybody else's. Let me fly the plane. It's time for Top Gun 2, but you're going to have to name it after my character if I'm going to be involved. Anyway.
He's 5'7".
Do you think do you think he still believes in Scientology, or is he just gone far enough in that he can't back out now?
I think he still believes in it. I think
Really?
he's got to.
Have
Like,
you
is
seen
he
that
just
Oprah-
all like,
that
Hail
deep in the
Xenu?
paint?
Have
Yeah.
you seen the Oprah interview where he like jumps
No.
up? He's like, yeah, and he's like jumping up
Oh,
on the
yeah.
couch, and he's like a weirdo.
Yeah.
I just think that's who he is as a human
You think
being.
that's him? You think
So
he's
I-
short and nut?
A little
I
freak.
think
yeah.
I think he probably still believes in it. I
What
mean,
is what even is Scientology? Like, what is their core belief there?
Okay, Scientology became because L. Ron Hubbard met this little guy named
What a
Aleister
chode.
Crowley. Okay, I know.
What another chode?
L.
another
Ron Hubbard
chode.
was a sci-fi writer. That is
Yeah.
an
Oh,
important
yeah.
thing to be said.
Oh yeah,
L. Ron
I knew
What
who
did I
he
say?
was.
R.L.
Sorry, I was just yeah.
R.L. Hubbard.
R.L. Hubbardstein.
L.
Sorry.
Ron Hubbard was a sci-fi writer who was like, honestly, his sci-fi books, okay, they're pretty good. Not
Wasn't
gonna lie.
terrible. Yeah.
He was
Um,
racist.
He
Yes,
sucked.
he was.
sucks as
Yeah.
a normal human being.
He became friends with a guy named Aleister Crowley, who is another chode that wrote some interesting
Mhm.
ideas.
Big into
um,
sex magic.
Big into sex magic. Guess who he got into sex magic? L.
L.
Ron
Ron
Hubbard.
Hubbard.
Yeah.
Ew,
So he
Ron.
got L. Ron Hubbard into sex magic and then was like, this is how you can convince people to follow you and make your own religion. And so he did kind of as a joke, and then it became Scientology. And it's based off a lot of the shit in his sci-fi books.
Yeah. I like to imagine that that's kind of like H.P. Lovecraft, somewhere, rest in piss, whatever, wrote some cool things, was also racist. That's life, I guess. This dude wrote all his fun little Cthulhu stories and like made up the Necronomicon and all that jazz. And then someone down the line was like, I'm going to include the Necronomicon and the Lovecraft stuff in my things too, because it's public domain. And then everybody and their mom starts doing it, and suddenly there are people out and about who are like, yeah, the Necronomicon's a real old book that's actually about demons. They're like, no, it's not.
No, it's not at all. Okay. But
You said H.P. Lovecraft.
Yeah.
Have you seen Glorious? Glorious. Have you seen Glorious?
No.
this said
What is this?
2022.
Oh my god. I think it's 2022. It might be a little bit
Yeah,
earlier.
it's 2022 film.
2022. Okay.
2022.
Yeah, it's 2022.
Here's the plot. Okay. Main dude, right? He gets broken up with. This is the first thing you see. He gets girlfriend breaks up with him. So he's like going on this drive and he stops at a rest stop. Okay. Just a regular rest stop. I gotta piss. He goes to piss. He's like washing his hands. And J.K. Simmons speaks to him from a stall. You're
I
like,
wish
what?
he did that for me.
What? Yeah.
I wish
It's
you
like,
would
hello,
do that.
sir. Turns out J.K. Simmons is this eldritch god. And
As he is, yeah.
This guy is
In real life.
trapped in the bathroom. Like all of this, it's a really good movie. Well, I don't want to spoil it for you guys because you both.
Yeah,
need to see
don't
it,
please.
so never
I
mind.
really want to watch this.
Yeah.
now.
It's really
Um,
good. That's all I'll say.
I want to talk about another movie that I watched recently, and I need to issue an apology to Cordell.
Oh.
Uh,
I love when this happens. I don't even know what this is about.
A long time ago, if you're listening to this podcast and you were a fan of Just Super, this also will tell you what killed Just Super. It's not this fight; it's the main character of this movie. I recently rewatched Thor: Love and Thunder. A while ago, Cordell and I had a disagreement because I thought the movie kicked ass, and he thought the movie was very bad.
Mm-hmm.
I recently rewatched it, and it does not kick ass. It is a movie where the sum of the parts
Mm-hmm.
is somehow worse.
Mm-hmm.
Even though there are parts of it that are fucking awesome. I will
There are parts that are really
I will
dope.
stand by that. Gore the God Butcher is an incredible character. Christian Bale knocked it out of the
Yeah.
park. He did
That's
incredible.
good to know. I will still
but
watch it because I have to.
It's a good movie. It's worth a watch.
It's on Disney
My
Plus, right?
complaint. Yeah, they're all on Disney Plus. My complaint with it at the core is that it is watching in real time a talented writer and director have nobody tell him no.
Yeah, that is kind of the problem.
That
is it seems like it's a Taika Waititi being no one's telling him no.
It is him jerking himself off for a full Marvel movie using characters you've actually grown to care about and throwing away all the development. That is my issue, is that like
kind of gross.
There has been a lot of legitimate character development in the MCU. Like, it's done a lot of bad things to cinema because everyone's trying to copy it, whatever. It is a movie, like Thor has character.
Yeah.
Thor has an arc. Jane Foster has an arc. Like, Valkyrie has an arc. Korg, like, even Korg has a little bit of an arc. Like, it takes all of this development and kind of throws it out the window and makes a joke of it. And even in the moments where it takes itself seriously and has an actual really good moment, it immediately follows it up with a joke that doesn't work.
Yeah.
It is just a movie of like unbridled creative freedom gone bad. It's
like a 3-star movie. Like it is a movie where you can walk away feeling nothing, and that's an appropriate feeling. But no, that's Cordell and I kind of talked about and decided to not keep doing Just Super because we both watched Thor, like the original Thor for the Thor movie episode, and I called him and I said, this is a bad movie. Like, this is just bad. I can't say anything about it. And he's like, I think you're right.
Yeah.
And so we just were like, we can't do it.
Should have me on. I can say anything about any movie.
Yeah.
It's such a bad movie.
I think it's more of the fact that, like, Caleb and I both just kind of lost the fire for it. And I think it was like, I'm also at a weird place in my life where I will always love superheroes, but at the current place I'm at, I'm bored with them.
Yeah.
I think I burned out on the genre. I'm really big into fantasy right now, actually.
Yeah.
I am like balls deep in Brandon Sanderson's novels.
Oh yeah, yes. I know.
I've started the Stormlight Archive.
Oh God. That's the big one.
It's the big one, and it's like 1,253 pages.
Yee.
So like,
damn.
I'm like 60 pages in, and it is high fantasy. You know, there's like, oh, I'm reading Mistborn, and it's like, yes, they use metal magic, and oh, there's ash in the sky, and the plants are gone. It's like, okay, cool world building. The Lord Ruler's immortal. This one is like, and then the grass pulled itself into the rock because the high storms are so dangerous that the plants learn to adapt. And then there's little magical doobledoos that are like, oh man, you're feeling fear? Look at these little guys going to eat that fear. And then there's like, oh man, I'm eating storm magic to use my magic. And then there's like, oh man, that's a land crab. Like, it is balls to the walls world building the whole time.
I've been reading Discworld, which is a fantasy novel. It's also high fantasy.
Yeah.
But it's like, since this world is a disc, there's edgewise, centerwise, turnwise, and widdershins are the 4 directions.
Incredible.
Where
does widdershins go?
So since it's a disc and the disc turns, widdershins is going against the turn of the disc.
Okay.
Do you just like stay still, like going up a down escalator?
No, because like it turns enough that it's almost like you get more momentum when you're sailing because you're going against it and the world is turning against you. So like there's a thing where it's like a distance that will take a week turn-wise will take you a day widdershins.
Because it's moving toward you.
Yeah.
You just kind of have to effectively wait. That's cool.
Yeah, it's a really good book and a really good series. But it also has one of my favorite lines and favorite burns of a character ever, which it's talking about a wizard that they're going to try and meet. And one of the characters says, if chaos was lightning, this wizard would be a fool standing on top of a hill during a thunderstorm in full metal armor yelling, damn the gods.
That's good.
So choice. So
Yeah.
good. Oh.
So I'm big into fantasy right now because like superheroes are neat, but I'm a little burnt out. And to be honest, there's not a lot of innovation in the genre right now.
There's not.
Not really.
Everyone's just kind of hitting the same like big comic book movies. Invincible's got a new season coming out at near the end of the year.
Yeah.
So like Invincible season 2 is going to be good. The Boys is still doing fun stuff, but like most of the superhero things we're getting are just very one note.
Yeah.
So I am content to move on to other genres for the time being.
That's super fair. Just looking at like I have the list of movies that are coming out this year because I was curious.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like the only superhero movie that I'm looking at that I'm actually excited for this year is the next Spider-Man. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse.
Oh, well,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
because it's the Spider-Verse
so the
stuff.
Spy- yeah.
But like
I mean-
Guardians 3 comes out, not
Nah.
super looking forward. Shazam, I'm probably gonna see
Mhm.
it just because it's the second
Yeah.
Shazam, but I'm not super excited. Like Quantumania comes out this year.
I'm excited
That
for
could- That
Quantumania.
could be good, but I'm not like waiting for
I'm more excited for Quantumania because I know Bill Murray is in it.
Oh,
And I know that they're
yeah.
going to finally actually do MODOK in the MCU.
Okay, I didn't
so
know that.
that's the only
Yeah.
things I
he
really
looks
know.
freaky too. He looks like
looks-
MODOK should.
Yeah,
And
he looks
Khan
like
is
a
in
little
this,
freak.
So like
And I like Kang.
Khan is somebody else. I don't know.
No, that's Star Trek.
Yeah,
That's-
Khan
that's
is Star
Star
Trek.
Trek.
Yeah, I don't.
I think
Yeah,
I have hit a similar place with superhero movies as I have with Star Wars, and it is a place of peace and serenity because I have basically stopped caring emotionally. Like I will watch the MCU movies as they come out. I'll get around to the TV shows eventually when I feel like it and I'm bored, but like I'm not invested anymore. I cared up through Endgame, and that was for me that was the end of like the story I was passionate about. That was where it
That's
ended.
very fair.
Everything else is just like DLC if I want it. And
Yeah.
half the time I'm like, okay, fine, might as well. And it's the same with Star Wars, where it's like, if I happen to be interested in a Star Wars thing, I'll watch it. But like, I have given up on the notion of it having like artistic integrity and continuing because there's a good story to tell.
yeah.
This stuff is all just the money machine, and I'm happy to step off that ride.
Yeah.
I think the honestly the nail in the coffin for me with superhero and like getting to that point of peace and serenity with superheroes was when the MCU started basically saying like, okay, now you have to have Disney Plus to understand everything that's
Yeah.
going on.
Yeah.
And it was
Yeah.
because, and it isn't even like that's where all our movies are. I'm fine with that being
The
the
TV
case.
shows.
It's the TV show tie-ins.
You
It's
have to do
and
that,
I like the
yeah.
TV shows. I liked Loki. I liked Falcon and Winter
Yeah.
Soldier. Don't make me have to rely on somebody seeing them for it to be with the to understand the MCU. Like it's the
Mhm.
same
Yeah.
thing as like I was playing Breath of the Wild yesterday and I just got the DLC finally and I've been playing through the DLC and I had the thought if Breath of the Wild 2 comes out and there is something that if somebody didn't buy the DLC that they don't understand it, it's instantly a bad game. Instantly. I think that is just bad. I think that is bad practice.
You know, it's wild.
Huh.
I know someone who has this same argument for Wicked.
Yeah.
Because Wicked requires you to know the story of the
Oh,
Wizard of Oz
that's
for it
fair,
to make
yeah.
sense and have emotional payoff.
And like,
Yeah,
but
that's
even
fair.
then, I think that argument is like a little to me is a little bit because like to me, if somebody bought Breath of the Wild, which is still
Yeah.
now like 6 years after it was released,
Still
a
good.
$60 game.
Yeah.
Like you do not, there is no sale on it. It is still a $60 game. They should be able to just purchase that game and complete it and be able to play Breath of the Wild 2 just fine. It is
Mhm.
I don't want somebody to have spent that money and then have to spend an additional $30 on the DLC just to understand. Because then to play and understand Breath of the Wild 2, you've got a $60 game, then $30 DLC. That's $150. That is a lot of money. Like,
Yeah.
That's
And
a
it's the
lot
same
of
with
cheese.
Marvel at this point. Like, if you don't have the luxury of having kept up
Dude.
since the beginning, none of it makes any sense or
Yeah.
matters. And it is, think about this. I want you to consider this briefly. Actually, you guys have a conversation while I pull up some numbers, and then you will consider this briefly.
This is actually a perfect time. Hi everybody, welcome to a brand new segment, hot off the presses, just for Sammi and Cordell. And now you guys, welcome to your favorite segment that we do every week. Caleb tries stuff and Sammi and Cordell try to guess if he likes it. This week we're reviewing Mountain Dew Pitch Black.
Interesting.
Oh.
Okay.
Whoa.
Zero sugar.
This is zero sugar. I don't know if this is everywhere yet, but we're gonna try it. I did pour it into a glass earlier and drank it then. And it is black. Like, it is a black soda.
I think you don't like it.
I'm gonna try it.
Well,
So
we have to
just
watch
like we say every week. 3, 2, 1, let's go, Mario.
Oh, yeah.
Doesn't like it.
Or is acting, but the way Caleb is looking at this can is so distraught and upset. Again, could be acting.
No, it's fine. It kind of tastes like if you took that, that good Mountain Dew flavor.
Yeah.
And you just turned it down 20%. It's a little bit milder.
Okay.
And so I didn't expect it to be as mild as it was.
You were expecting a punch in the face when you got a kiss on the cheek.
Yeah, I got a kiss on the cheek when I was expecting a full makeout session. And it's okay. I'm going to give it 3 thumbs up out of 7.
That's a lot of thumbs up.
That's 3 thumbs up out of 7. It also contains 0% juice. What are they qualifying as juice? What the fuck does that mean? How does it... I have a can of Sprite Zero that I had earlier. How much juice is in this can?
How much juice?
Holy fuck. It has 0 juice too. What the fuck? Am I drinking no juice? Has my juice consumption gone down to 0? I used to drink juice every day when I was a child. And what the fuck is wrong with me? I used to be a juice boy.
I used to juice.
I used to be a juice boy, and now I have drinking things that contain no juice?
I don't know what you're going to do with yourself, Caleb.
I'm going to go jump off a bridge.
That's I'm gonna go drink more juice.
I gotta go. I'm going to the store anyway. My wife is ill. I need to go get her soup.
Yeah,
so she can.
So ill.
Yeah, my wife is ill. I'm gonna go get her some soup so she can feel better. I guess I gotta fucking get juice now.
You know,
but what kind of juice? What?
All of the Transformer movies.
Oh fuck!
Because a new one's coming out, and I don't know if you saw me earlier. I was actually excited. I'm excited about this one though. Do you want to know why? Do you want to know the title?
Yeah.
Transformers: Rise of the Beasts.
Fuck
yeah,
off.
Dinobots.
Here
Wait,
we
no,
go.
they already did Dinobots.
No, but they did. But do you remember a little show called Transformers Beast Wars?
I remember the name.
Okay, that was an actually dope show. It's where all the Transformers were animals. Like, it was in prehistoric Earth.
Yeah.
So they had to all become animals. So they're making
because when robots don't have cars, they make animals.
They make animals, of course. But It seems pretty cool because it's been the most popular version, or one of the most popular versions of the Transformers is those animals.
Yeah. And the thing about Transformers that Bumblebee proved is that they at any point can turn it around just by making a movie with a little bit of heart. Like at any point they could start over and make good Transformers. I have one Transformers character pitch, and then I want to tell you the numbers I crunched.
Yeah.
So here's my Transformer character pitch. Transformer who lands on Earth. No machines around. No animals around. So they transform into the shape of a human. And so this Transformer
makes
does all the
whoop,
whoop, and then is just like the same size, same shape, but has like a slightly different face. And then they whoop, and they're in fighting mode again. That's my Transformers pitch. They transform into a human shape.
You know that's already a thing, right? That was in the second movie. That's when I said it made out with Shia LaBeouf.
But that one's dumb, because that one's like silly little one. I'm talking full-on Optimus Prime size Transformer.
Yeah.
Looking like a dude.
Okay, fair. I'm just saying. It's technically already.
I'm just gonna say I don't like Transformers. I've never understood it. I watched the first Transformers movie with Mr. LaBeouf, and I thought it was bad. And so like every time somebody's like, "There's another one," I'm like, "How many is it? How many do we need?" They did the one.
At its core, Transformers knows what truly matters. The two things that matter the most in this world.
I really want to know.
That's big things fighting and merchandise.
This sounds like every mono green Magic player.
Straight up. Like that's the thing is people like, okay, this one hurt my heart a little bit. The clients at my work watched Pacific Rim recently and all of them hated it. They all hated Pacific Rim. And I was like, I love that movie. You get big aliens and big robots and they fight and there's a sword. What more do you want from a film? And
more than that.
Not at all. That's all you need. Big things fighting and then merchandise, Caleb.
Caleb doesn't like big monster movies?
Caleb, you monster.
I like monster movies where there is more going on. Like I like the King Kong movie that we watched. I like the Godzilla movies.
Okay, that's all I need.
But that's because you know what Godzilla does? It's like, hey, there's some like eco-terrorism going on. Stop it. Or like, there's like stuff going on that is actually really big and bad that has like a big plot that would actually affect the earth as we know it. It's not like Transformers where it's like, what the fuck is a Decepticon? That makes no goddamn sense. This feels like some Cold War bullshit.
Are the Autobots and Decepticons a racial thing, or is it just which team are you on?
I really think it's Cold War. I think it's Cold War inspired, where you have capitalism versus communism. I really think there has got to be something deep down that I have to that I will like, but they don't do it anymore.
The whole idea is that they're from this planet Cybertron, which Cybertron itself is a giant transformer and is like
that transformed into a planet.
Yeah.
You're telling me there's a goddamn planet of
There's
these
two
things?
of them.
Yeah, that's where they come from. Where do you think they crash land from?
Planets?
There's two different planets. One's an evil one, and the other one is
There's an evil Cybertron.
I'm trying to remember what they're named. Transformers that are planets. Okay, but yeah, so they're from the main one is Cybertron though. That is where they're all from, and it's like they fight each other because they're like,
at war.
We want to have control over our planet of Cybertron. And then they go, we're dumbasses. Bye-bye Cybertron. See ya. And it exploded. And so now they're here on Earth. Unicron is the evil one. It's kind of like a Saturn. It's got a ring around it. But
they just made it. They just misspelled unicorn
and
made that an evil planet.
Yeah.
The fuck is wrong with these writers?
Hey, that's
the
not
deal.
fair. That's not fair because so many names and so many words are slightly different spelling from other stuff. You can't just say that.
Yeah,
I
Caleb,
get
you
that.
can't just get
You
mad.
spelled
It's
the
a
word
Frogger
wrong.
situation. He's
Shut-
just mad to
no.
be mad.
No, shut the fuck up. This is exactly the Frogger situation.
Yep,
Okay,
yep.
this is Frogger, and I fully admit it. This
At least
is
you admit
bad writing. It's like
No, it's
okay,
good writing.
No, it's bad. It's bad. What's next? You're gonna tell me it was okay? At least tell me this because I've got two Transformers experts over here. All right,
Yeah.
was there an Optimus before Optimus Prime?
Yes.
Wait,
Not Optimus,
Okay.
but Prime. Prime is like
the Prime
Is-
is a title.
is a title. So Optimus is his name, and he is the Prime. So like
They're
there's-
like the elders basically.
yeah,
right?
like there's a bunch of different Primes. There's like even in the
Prime.
movies, there's
Yeah,
like
in
a
the
bunch of
movies they meet
Primes.
other primes. Oh, also in the Transformers movies, canonically in the live action ones, Transformers helped build the pyramid. they came down to Earth in ancient times, helped build the pyramid, and then like built a temple and turned into rock, I guess.
Also, I looked it up, and now I'm remembering Cybertron is real. I'm double checking. I'm 100% double checking. Yeah. So, Primus is the name of the guy that became Cybertron. So it's the rank of Prime because like you got Sentinel Prime,
Primus.
you got Nova Prime apparently, you got Optimus Prime, and then you got Primus, and then there's also like the one from Beast Wars named Optimus Primal. That's pretty good.
Caleb, I need you to understand this franchise started in the 90s.
Yeah.
You can't argue with the 90s.
I
As a
can
comic book.
and I will.
Caleb, do you love Back to the Future?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. You want me to start poking holes in the thing you love just because it doesn't make sense because it was from a time where you didn't have to make sense?
Back to the Future is completely flawed. That doesn't mean I don't like it. And there are things
Transformers.
Do you like any Marvel comic?
I have watched.
Well, Transformers started out
okay,
as a Marvel comic, so fuck
That's
you.
true. All right. Okay. Before the next episode, or maybe the one after that, depending on if Olivia is sick enough that she needs to continue to stay home, stuff like that, I will watch the first 3 Transformers movies.
I'm in.
Transformers.
Not the live action ones, though.
Yes. No, that's the one I take
those
umbrage
aren't
with.
good.
Okay,
Yeah,
then
they're bad.
Okay, send me 3 Transformers movies to watch. I will watch them.
Yeah.
And I will tell you how dog shit they are.
Damn. Okay.
So I think it's
If I
time for me
wanted
to
to-
tell you
if
my
I-
little number crunch.
I'm gonna say,
Caleb,
if I wanna- if I wanna-
angry man.
If I want a fun transforming toy, I'm going to get a Bionicle. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay. I do like
Okay.
Bionicle, but
I
they
do love
don't
Bionicle,
transform as much as Transformers.
Yeah, no, they just
Or I'll
are
get a
opposable.
Bakugan.
Don't you dare tell me
That
Bakugan are
doesn't
good, Caleb.
count.
You piece of
Why
crap.
not? I'll do a Bakugan any
No, you
day.
won't. Hey, if
I'll
you
do
bring a
it.
Bakugan on this
I'll
show,
do a
I'm
Bakugan.
out. I
fucking
walk.
kill you.
If you bring a Bakugan into this family, I'm out of here.
I'm gonna bring
Into
a
this
fucking
junk house.
Bakugan. I'm
Don't you
gonna
dare
get that
bring a
little.
Bakugan. I'm gonna kill you.
If you
I'm
bring
gonna
it
drive
with
to
that
Alabama
magnetic
and I'm gonna
card,
kill you.
I will
bring
take
a
the
little
magnetic
fucking
card and I will
Bakugan.
throw it into
gonna-
your eye.
I
I'm
will
gonna
kill
bring
you.
a fucking Bakugan. I'm gonna get that little red one. You know,
I will
that
swallow
one.
it whole and choke to death
I
before I
will.
let you
In
ruin
front
this.
of
Fucking do it. I'll bring a
No, don't you
Bakugan on this
if you-
show.
If
I'll
you even
fucking
touch a
bring it.
Bakugan, I'm telling your parents.
Mom, Caleb.
Caleb touched a Bakugan.
That might have been the most anti-Donna 2 minutes we've ever had. Of just, I'm gonna fucking bring a Bakugan on the show. I'll fucking do
Anyway.
it.
All of that to say, by the end of 2025, if you were to want to go watch an MCU film, there will be upwards of 50 properties you will need to have watched for it to make
Jesus.
full sense.
Oh my god.
And I want you to think about that, like we've all like, oh, Fast 9 is in theaters. Okay, cool. That's one movie series you can watch all the way through.
Well,
great.
Fast X is coming out. This
Okay,
year,
well, great. Fast X is coming out, but like, that's one thing. We've all seen long running franchises. We've all seen Jason go to space, and we've seen Leprechaun back to the hood. So like, that happens.
Well,
but
we've seen those, Cordell. I don't know if many people have.
I love punishing myself, but you're gonna go watch like Armor Wars is a thing they've got going on eventually down the road after the like multiverse whatever. You want to go watch that in theaters, you will have had to watch like a decade and a half's worth of movies and then television shows to understand that. Like, you could probably spend we're approaching a month straight of just watching Marvel things to understand the next movie.
So,
I mean, there's for sure.
I can't recommend it anymore.
There's for sure whole podcasts that are only about the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and that's
I love Marvel, and here is what I'm gonna say. This is some fucking dog shit. Okay, it's fucking dog shit. I'm not gonna tell anybody to go watch a Marvel movie now, because it's gonna be like, oh, I went and saw Ant-Man 3. What do I have? I want to go see Ant-Man Quantumania. What do I need to watch before that? And I'm like, well, you need to watch Loki, but you also need to watch the 3 Captain America movies, the 3 Iron Man movies, because the 3 Iron Man movies set up the Ant-Man movies. You need to watch the first 2 Ant-Man movies, but you need to watch the first 3 Captain America movies, because in the second one, there is a reference to MODOK, and MODOK is kind of there. Kind of, but we're not really sure if that's the MODOK that we're going to see in Quantumania.
That's Arnim Zola. That wasn't MODOK.
Yeah, but like at one point they kind of reference that it's supposed to be MODOK.
When they go see him in the thing.
So there's that. But then watching all that means you got to, like there's so much shit you have to do. Fucking stop it.
So
just make a movie. Just make one.
All of that being said, best movie of 2022 for Cordy. My favorite movie of the year, Bullet Train, hands down. I love that movie.
It's a good movie.
That was a good movie. I think my favorite. Well, okay, this is Rotten Tomatoes best of 22. I'm just gonna read a few of my favorites that's on this list real quick. So we got Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Killer.
Probably my favorite of last year. Turning Red came out last year.
I didn't watch it.
So good.
It's a good movie.
Cry so many fucking times. You know what else came out last year that I enjoyed fucking thoroughly? The Batman.
Oh, that was real.
Yeah, that was a good ass movie.
I'm not gonna lie. That's my number one movie of 2022. Honestly, the Batman.
I completely fair. If I hadn't seen Everything Everywhere All at Once, I probably would. Batman's easily number 2.
I still need to finish Everything Everywhere All at Once, because it is a lot to take in.
It
is emotional.
I got like through the first like 30 minutes and then paused it and then walked away for a minute, and I still have to go. I'm just gonna rewatch the whole thing at this point.
Rewatch it all.
X came out. I will say X came out. I'm sorry, I have a couple more. Did you see X? Do you know that horror movie?
No.
You would like it, Cordell.
You would like it. Have you seen
I know
Pearl?
I would. I just haven't seen it yet. No.
Okay,
neither.
So both are connected.
They're connected
very loosely, but both have a Mia Goth, who has quickly been becoming one of my new favorite actresses. She's fucking incredible.
Speaking of favorite actresses, another movie that came out in 22 that's in my top 5, The Menu.
Yeah,
so
that was the
movie
last
was
one I was
excellent.
gonna say.
Yeah, love The Menu.
Good.
Anna Taylor-Joy, or Anna Taylor-Joy, however you pronounce it.
Anya
Taylor-Joy. A delight, a treasure.
And a movie that I hold close to my heart in terms of the themes of like, hey, if you get so up your own butt about making art, you start to lose the joy of the purpose of art.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Which I think kind of gets into what I hate about most movies these days, honestly.
Yeah. Because so many of them are either like no all flash, no substance, or so many of them are like trying to have so much substance that they like lose the joy. The reason I love Bullet Train, because I was like, Bullet Train, top movie of the year, and you both followed up with Everything Everywhere All at Once and The Batman, which are both arguably finer movies.
Okay.
Like Everything Everywhere All at Once is a like powerhouse in terms of emotion, shooting. Like it is a beautifully, nearly perfectly done movie.
Yes, yeah.
And the Batman is very artistic and very strong and very thematic and cool. I loved Bullet Train because it had the synthesis of all the things I want to see in a movie.
Okay.
It's for the same reason I love Baby Driver and Edgar Wright in general.
Mm-hmm.
Like Bullet Train has comedy, quick, clever dialogue, great characterization, unique and distinct characters, an excellent soundtrack. It's vibrant, it's colorful, and it's got like a strong emotional vein running through it. Like I loved it because it kind of has everything that brings me to a movie.
Yeah.
Whereas like the Batman and Everything Everywhere All at Once have multiple things that bring me, but not everything that gets me to watch a movie, you know?
Okay.
That's why Bullet Train is my top one. Because I just like it that much.
I think
it's on Netflix.
Okay.
It is on Netflix. I would say it is in my top 10 movies from 2022 that I watched. Easily in my top 10 movies.
Go in for a good time and you will get more. Don't go in expecting like super high artistry. Like it is a fun, good movie that's well done and is good.
Yeah.
But it's not like the highest art thing you'll ever watch. That's not what brings me to movies.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
There is one more. Because you reminded me of that. Skinamarink.
Okay. I haven't seen it.
That one's you gotta. I don't know when it's coming to theaters. I think it's in theaters now. But
it's in
very
select
limited.
theaters.
Yeah, because isn't that what we found out last time? It was
Yeah.
like it's in Little Rock, but maybe that's the only place in Arkansas.
Yeah. There's a person I follow on Twitter who posted like a picture of like the name in the theater, and they're like, "I'm not sleeping tonight."
Yeah.
Dang it, I want to see this movie.
It's so good, and just you saying the like, Skinamarink doesn't feel like high art.
Yeah.
I guess it is kind of, but it like, yeah. I mean, the shots are very like just the corner of a bedroom.
Yeah.
When you hear stuff, so that just kind of reminded me when you were talking about Bullet Train.
Yeah, there are so many different ways to make good movie and good story and good art, and none of them will appeal to everybody, and none of them will have everything that makes something good. Because like, if you're gonna have a fun, action-packed, arty movie, then you lose out on the slow, well-paced, thoughtful movie aspect. Like you can never have it all. But you get a movie like Bullet Train that has everything that makes me like a movie.
Yeah. And then when you find those movies and you're just like, I'm going to hold on to this for the rest of my fucking life.
I bought it full price on DVD.
Hell yeah.
That is how much I loved it.
Not a movie that came out in 2022, but if you want to know a movie that encapsulates everything Caleb Burley loves about movies, No Time to Die. The last Daniel Craig James Bond movie. I fucking love James Bond.
There we go.
That's all I need.
I love
just give me a James Bond movie, I'm there.
There we go.
I'm having a hard time thinking of the last movie that checked all the boxes. But I don't know. Maybe The Menu.
Well,
I really like The Menu.
It was a really good movie.
It's a good movie.
You know what my favorite movie soundtrack song from a soundtrack is?
I have a guess.
What is it, Caleb? What's your guess?
My guess is the one, the only Psychobilly Freak Out by the Reverend Horton Heat. Thank you for letting us use that song as our opening and closing music.
Thank you so much. Also, if you want to follow us on Twitter, we're still alive there for the time being.
That
new update is garbage.
It's Junk House Pod.
Yeah, the new Twitter update is bad.
I have not looked at it.
It's like you have two tabs now where it's specifically people you follow and it's every retweet and tweet and like they do. And then it's things you might like. So you don't just get like one blended timeline anymore. It's really stupid.
It's a For You page and a following page.
Yeah.
And neither of them are as good as the combined timeline.
No. And now I have to because the pages are laid out so shittily, I have to search for people's pages if I want to see what they've tweeted recently.
It's
So,
really dumb.
If I want to
so
see what
stupid.
Cordell's tweeted, I have to search Cordelicious and find it.
Yeah.
Thanks,
But-
Elon.
What still functions just fine is good old email.
It'll never go away.
Email.
If you want to email us, tell us your favorite movies of 2022, yell at us about Marvel, or tell Caleb how stupid he is and wrong about Transformers,
It's
you
gonna be
can do
bullshit.
that at junkhousemailbox.com.
You know what else you can do? You can follow in Fielding's footstep, because Junk House, did you know the town of Centralia, Pennsylvania has had an underground coal fire burning beneath the city since 1962. Almost the whole city was taken by the state under
Yep.
immediate domain.
Mhm.
Immediate? I can't speak words, apparently. Eminent domain. And the zip code discontinued by the U.S. Postal Service. Only 7 residents were allowed to stay on their land under the condition that upon their death, their land will also be seized by the state. Today, all that remains beside those residents is a portion of Pennsylvania Route 61 that is commonly known as Graffiti Highway, and a small number of rogue independent miners still trying to salvage coal in abandoned mines. Thank you for subscribing to Did You Know? Suggestions, comments, questions? Reach out to Mike Pence at mikepence@pence.mike.gov. Thanks, Fielding.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Fielding.
Fielding.
You want to know something crazy? I did know that fact.
I knew that as well.
Wow.
Caleb, basically
didn't.
there's a coal mine under the town and a fire got started and there's enough coal that it has never stopped. The air is toxic, random sinkholes happen. It is a bad place.
It's not a good place.
It is
to
like
live.
hell on earth almost.
That's right, guys. Next week, live from Centralia, Pennsylvania,
I would
Junk
love that.
House.
That would be sick.
Well,
Just
we need to
imagine
do
the
a
three of
haunted
us,
junk
sitting-
house.
Imagine
We
the
have to do a
three of us
haunted Junk House.
absolutely. Imagine the three of us just sitting on a stage trying to do a live podcast, and then a sinkhole opens and we all die in
Yeah.
a fire.
What a way
They
to go.
died as they lived, like idiots.
Honestly.
Junkin House and.
Okay, I have to leave.
Okay, well, as we say every week,
I
Bye,
have to
Cordell.
leave.
Bye.
Goodbye. I'm gonna
Everyone follow
Hey,
No
hey.
Context Bruce Campbell on Twitter.
I'm gonna go get some milk. I'll be right back.
Bye.
You better be back or I'm gonna cry, Dad.
Hey, I'm not gonna.